Hey guys, and welcome back to Battlefront Updates. Today I wanted to talk a little bit more about the next Star Wars Battlefront game and some of the suggestions I have for the game. In my last video I talked about the hero selection system, but today I want to talk about the leveling system as well as prestige levels, something I think the game could benefit from. So let's start off by talking quickly about the current system in Star Wars Battlefront. The initial level cap when the game was released was 50, and while you were leveling you could unlock new weapons, star cards and skins. This is a fairly standard system which in my opinion worked pretty well. When they then added DLCs they increased the level cap and added new skins at higher levels, but the new equipment was added through hut contracts with no level requirements, which I also think was a very good solution, because if you had to reach the new level cap for the new equipment it would discourage a lot of new people who haven't previously maxed out the level cap before that DLC. All in all, I think the current system has worked pretty well and I don't see any major problems with it at all, but I do however have a couple of suggestions that I think could make the next game more interesting, fun and most importantly give it more longevity. First of all, I don't think the level cap should be increased with each new DLC coming out, but instead a prestige system would be a lot more fun. This would allow people to have a lot more progression and leveling to do compared to the current game. Let's say that we have 50 base levels and 10 prestige levels. That is a lot of time to level up. Just to clarify for those of you who don't know, if you do decide to prestige, you are put back at level 1 with all of your weapon unlocks reset, but with one higher level on the prestige tier. Every time you do decide to prestige, you will have to unlock the weapons all over again, which makes it a lot more interesting as it forces you to not use the same weapons all the time. So what would the reward be for leveling your prestige? Well, I think that locking skins behind the prestige levels is a bit too harsh for players who don't play a ton, but on the other hand I think that emblems or some sort of icons displayed either on the armor or on the scoreboard would be something small yet also something that people could show off. Basically some type of cosmetical rewards, emblems, weapon skins or something else that could motivate people enough to prestige but not feel like too much content is locked away from casual players who might not play as much. I always liked the way they did in Call of Duty, where you could see someone's prestige level based on their emblem on the scoreboard. So if you saw someone with a specific emblem, you know that that person had a lot of playtime in the game. But how would new content that gets released from DLCs be introduced to the game then? Well, I think the current hut contract system works perfectly fine for that, and I think the actual skins could be included in that as well, but with a bit higher requirements. Not necessarily harder requirements, but simply stuff that takes longer to get. Let's say you need to get maybe 100 Walker Assault uplink captures for a specific skin. That would really motivate people to play the objective a lot more, and it would also take them a while to get that skin. I wouldn't be opposed to a few skins that require some harder challenges, such as getting over a specific score in a game or something like that, but I'm not sure if the majority of people would agree with me on that, considering that it's a pretty casual game. In summary, I think that having some sort of prestige system will keep the game fresh, because you will pretty much always have something to do and it keeps the game fresh for everyone no matter how much you're playing. If you've played for weeks with the same setup and decide to take the game to the next level, simply prestige and start playing with the stuff you had from the start and re-unlock everything again. At the same time you will get some cosmetic rewards to show off in return. I also want to quickly mention that I don't think skins should reset by prestiging, but only weapons and star cards. These are obviously just my own opinions and suggestions. I would love to hear if you have any other suggestions for how the leveling system could be improved for the next Star Wars Battlefront game, as I'm pretty sure that everything I brought up isn't perfect, but maybe a step in the right direction. Thank you very much for watching, and as always, may the Force be with you.